Hello and welcome to the Strong, Healthy, Happy podcast. It is a sunny Sunday morning, and I'm going to be talking to you today about alcohol, weight loss, and your health. Now, I'm an online coach, and women come to me to lose weight, to get stronger, fitter, healthier, and as a result, feel a lot happier and more comfortable in their bodies with more energy, etc. Now, I never tell my clients to eliminate alcohol. I don't ask my clients to eliminate anything. And if you've been listening to me for a while, you know I'm very inclusive when it comes to food, and it's the same for drink. I'm always very inclusive. I hope that I don't come across as this person who's sitting on a throne with this, perfect lifestyle of health and fitness, and I never do anything. I never eat chocolate or I never drink. Now, first of all, I eat chocolate most days. And when it comes to alcohol, as I've gotten older, I'm now 54, I find that the way alcohol makes me feel, well, it doesn't make me feel particularly very good at the time of drinking it, and after drinking it. So as I've gotten older, I have just naturally reduced the quantity and the frequency of when I drink. Now, that's me personally. Do I like enjoying a glass of Pimm's on a sunny afternoon at a barbecue occasion? Yeah, absolutely. As I've gotten older, it takes me a lot longer to recover from the effects of alcohol. And I want to wake up and I want to feel good and I want to smash the day doing the things that I love and that continue to make me feel good. Now, do I have judgment from my friends who drink or people who drink? No, I never have judgment, and I would never criticize someone for their choices. But as a coach, when I'm working with women, when women come to me and they want to achieve certain goals, but they also are drinking large quantities of alcohol. Now, I'm not going to quote units and how much because I haven't looked into that. I'm not that au fait with alcohol and the units, but I know that the amount, like when I say large quantities, it's actually less than you think. And the number of units that you should be drinking, or when I say should, recommended to drink, is probably a lot lower than what you might currently be drinking. And the other big thing I experience through my clients is this weekend drinking. And usually the ability to cut out alcohol during the week is not a big deal. It's become a little bit habitual. But, having no alcohol during the week can often result in this drinking large amounts on a weekend. And this is where I have my clients' best interests at heart. And I look objectively at what their goals are, what their lifestyle looks like, because if they're very sociable, I want them to be able to enjoy a drink or two, have a great time with the people that they're with. But I'm also looking at how they can continue progressing towards their goal. Doesn't need to be done in a fast manner. It can be done slowly over time so that, clients can live their lives whilst they make progress. But in terms of health, I also have that in mind as well. And having a more all approach to alcohol at a weekend can impact health. Now, I'm going to sort of break this down and talk about it during this podcast, but I wanted to reference myself in the beginning because I didn't want anyone to think that I'm holier than thou or have judgment, because I absolutely don't. Okay. Now, also just to say is I've done a few posts on alcohol. The engagement has been extremely low because people don't want to read about that. People don't want to hear about things that they might be doing that actually they feel a bit sensitive to, because maybe deep down they know that what they're doing isn't serving them well. But when I post things that perhaps resonate with people or might be a bit of a pain point or might be something they don't want to listen to because they're not yet ready to take the advice, like I get that. And everyone has to be ready and in the mindset to make positive change. And I fully support that. I'm going to be talking about your weight loss goals, your health goals, and the impact that alcohol can have on that. Now, alcohol isn't calorie free, just in case you thought that, oh, it's liquid. There's no calories in this. Alcohol has calories. Some alcohol is a lot higher in calorie and some alcohol is a lot lower in calorie. Now, there's nuance to drinking alcohol and your choice of type of alcohol. If I have a client that's trying to lose weight and they really want to progress towards their goal, but they love a glass of wine, I'm not going to tell them not to drink that glass of wine. Are there lower calorie options? Yeah, like a gin and slimline. But if they don't like gin and slimline, then there's no point them drinking it because it's not going to give them any pleasure and they're going to feel dissatisfied and they might drink 2 gin and tonics and then think, right, now I want my glass of wine. So it's absolutely fine to drink a glass of wine. You don't have to always choose the lower calorie options. It is a smart choice, but if you don't like it, then there's no point. But if you are drinking, more higher calorie drinks, for example, cocktails can be extremely high in calorie. They can range from about 200 to 500-ish calories. But if you're out for cocktails with the girls and you're going to enjoy a cocktail, enjoy a cocktail. Does it mean you need to drink 3 of them? No, you can enjoy 1, maybe 2 cocktails, but then move on to either a soft drink, a diet soft drink, or your lower calorie alcohol alternative. But it's really important for you to understand that alcohol does have calories. And if you're looking to lose weight and you've worked really hard all week to put yourself into a deficit, to eat, the more nutritious and healthy foods, and you're feeling really good as a result, and you're starting to see movement on the scales, you're starting to feel good, and you're starting to make progress. You drinking large amounts of alcohol in the weekends can offset the progress that you made during the week. And we work on averages. Your body doesn't reset at midnight and then start again the following day. If we look at your week as a whole, you may have, really stuck to things during the week. Perhaps your week sort of finishes on a Thursday, and then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you have more of a relaxed approach, whether that be with food and alcohol. It accounts for almost like half of your week, and it will reduce the deficit that you've been trying hard to put yourself in on those 4 weekdays. And overall, as an average across the week, you may have taken yourself out the deficit, or may have not been in a deficit at all, or the deficit is very small. And with just a few adjustments, you could still enjoy your night out, you could still enjoy a drink, but understanding where you can make those savings will help support the efforts that you're putting in during the week. So understanding that alcohol can impact you in terms of your weight loss goal, in terms of calories. Now, the other impact that alcohol has on you, if you're drinking large amounts, and again, when I say large amounts, I'm referring, like, for me, like, not for me personally, but large amounts like a bottle of wine, easily done on a night out, more than a few drinks, right, is what I would consider a lot of alcohol. For you, that might feel like, gosh, Deborah, you're like out of touch. Maybe so. But I'm a health and fitness coach. That's my job. So anything more than a few drinks, I would ask my clients the question, why? Is it just a regular night out, or was it a special occasion? But this is me getting specific. But what I want you to understand is the impact that alcohol has on you the following day. And if you are drinking large amounts, whatever you consider large amounts, first of all, no one makes good decisions after drinking large amounts of alcohol. That kebab on the way home, or the chips that you want at 11 o'clock at night, is a result of you drinking alcohol. If you hadn't have drunk that much, you probably, most likely, wouldn't have made that choice. The other effect alcohol can have on you, in addition to grabbing the kebab on the way home, is that it can affect your sleep. So whether it's you sleeping for less hours, or whether your sleep has been disrupted and the quality of your sleep is poor, it can impact your sleep. Now, in terms of your goal of weight loss and your health goals, just one poor night's sleep can affect your mood, your energy. It can increase your hunger. It can also reduce your feeling of feeling satisfied after eating. And cognitively, you're not going to be feeling great. And you're just going to be feeling pretty low mood, low energy. You won't want to do much movement, exercise, getting out for a walk outside. And alongside that, your food choices are probably not going to be in line with the goals that you have because of the effects of alcohol the following day. Now, I'm not saying this is absolute. And of course, sometimes, you may recover more quickly than others. But generally speaking, alcohol in large quantities can affect your sleep. And as a result, it will impact how you feel, your mood, your energy, your lack of need and desire to move and exercise, and impact your food choices. If you are going through menopause and you have menopause symptoms, they will be exacerbated from drinking alcohol. So if you want to reduce your menopause symptoms so that you feel better, reducing your alcohol intake really does make sense. And notice I use the word reduce and not take out. It's about reducing. Now, thing I wanted to talk about with alcohol, and I mentioned this in the beginning in my introduction, is the ability to cut out alcohol during the week, or to tell yourself, I'm going to be good all week so that I can enjoy myself on the weekend. Now, this in itself isn't a bad formula to have, a bad approach to have. It's not a bad thing to do, but if you have the mindset of, I've been good all week, I haven't drunk all week, so I'm going to enjoy myself, and good tends to be over restriction, and enjoy myself, and I'm doing air quotes here, which you may not even be able to see, but enjoying yourself tends to be over consuming. And this cycle of restriction and then over consuming alcohol, and it can be the same with food, is this cycle of restriction and over consuming, whether it be food or drink, can be really problematic in your approach because it creates an unhealthy cycle. It can lead to feelings of guilt, to shame. It can lead to a poor relationship with alcohol or food and it can lead to some disordered behaviors around alcohol and or food. But I'm going to keep it alcohol based because this podcast is about alcohol. But over consuming alcohol at the weekend is an unhealthy cycle. It's an all or nothing mentality, but just using alcohol. Now, again, that doesn't mean to say you can't drink on the weekend. You absolutely can. But it's about finding that moderate approach to alcohol. Does that mean you can, if you fancy drinking, a glass of wine on a Wednesday night? If you choose to, you can do. And it's learning that one glass is gonna hit the spot, and then you just get on with the rest of your evening. Now, I'm not encouraging you to overconsume alcohol because it is a really good idea to reduce it if you have weight loss goals, for the reasons that I've already talked about so far on this podcast. Now, the other negative effect in terms of your health with over-consuming alcohol is it can liver damage and potential liver function, inflammation, and alcohol can impact your behaviors and lower your mood and your energy. And like I said, you're gonna have less desire to do the things that you need to do to support your weight loss goals. Now, the other thing, and there are many other health issues when it comes to drinking alcohol, but I don't want to preach these things to you. I'm happy for you to reach out and I will share them with you. But the other important part of this podcast that I want to get across, and something that I really do delve in deeper with a lot of my clients who do enjoy currently, especially when they first start working with me, they are drinking large amounts of alcohol. And when we start coaching and I start getting a greater understanding of why they are consuming large amounts, typically at the weekend, I do get more of an understanding about the reasons why they're choosing to drink. Now, these are some of the reasons that I've come across with my clients that I coach. Sometimes they've been drinking large amounts of alcohol for as long as they can remember, and their friends and family and people around them have this expectation that they're going to be that, fun person that drinks alcohol, that, really gets stuck in. And so often my clients realize when we talk about this further is they're actually living up to other people's expectations, and they're not actually doing or living their life aligned to their values and their current goal of improved health and weight loss. And they're living up to expectations that other people have of themselves. And it's about breaking this expectation. And there's no set way to do that. There's no easy way to do that, because when you've done things for a certain length of time and it's what is expected of you, oh, here she comes, the fun one, the great one, the this one. Yeah, she'll, I don't want to dig myself in a hole here, but you get the picture. You're living up to other people's expectations. And my question to sort of put back at you is, if this resonates with you, and perhaps you do want to sort of reduce the amount of your drinking, but you find it difficult because of this expectation of others, is there has to come a point where you start to please yourself. Because living up to other people's expectations or doing things to please others in any area of your life at some point is really going to tire you and wear you down, because at the end of the day, you are an adult and you can make choices for yourself. And they may not be ones that your friends accept straight away. But I always advise my clients to be upfront and honest in their social circles or family circles, in the sense that they're working towards a health goal and reducing alcohol forms part of that. And it often sort of, I find that when my clients report back to me, the person that they were talking to and said that to responds, oh, you know what? I really want to improve my health too. Shall we reduce alcohol together? And it actually has a positive effect on others. But I think a lot of people get in this cycle of, we're out tonight. Yeah, let's go large. And actually, there may be others in your social circle who would be really pleased to know that you're working towards a health goal, so that they can join you in that quest and not feel like they're doing it alone. And also, just to say, is that you can still be fun. You can still have a good time. You don't need to rely on alcohol to do that. But perhaps you may have been drinking for such a long time now that you don't feel that you could be fun and enjoyable without it. And my challenge to you is try it. Give it a go. I'm not saying completely abstain from drinking, but try reducing it. And the way that you would do that is have a plan before you go out, and you have an agreement with yourself. I'm going to have 2 glasses of Prosecco or whatever it is that you're choosing to drink. And when I finish those 2 glasses, I'm moving on to, soft drinks, and make that plan an agreement with yourself and stick to it. And you will feel so accomplished, and you will feel, you'll wake up the following day, you'll feel amazing and very empowered that you did what you had planned to do. Another area when you're out socially is recognizing saboteurs. You're on a night out and someone goes, go on, just have one more, one won't hurt. And you get those comments. And again, this applies to food as well, but I'm going to keep it alcohol based. And perhaps one more won't hurt. Perhaps, it is just one more. But if it's against what you want to do or had planned to do, it is okay to say, no, I'm all good, thanks. Because you may have one more. It may be the one that tips you over the edge. It may be the one that leads to all those next poor decisions. It may be the one more that stops you sleeping well. It may be the one more that affects your mood and your energy. It might be the one more that keeps you lying on that sofa all day, eating high calorie food because that's what you fancy from the way that you're feeling. So, it's not just about the one more, it's the succession of events that can lead to as a result of one more. And if it's not in line with what you want to do, there has to come a point where you say, I'm all good, thank you very much. And so it's about doing what serves you well. Now, the other thing about alcohol that I just want to add in here is, I wouldn't want anyone to act in a way and have regret, whether that's with, missing a gym session, not getting out for a walk because they just couldn't be bothered, or drinking too much alcohol and feeling shit the next day. And you wake up and you think, why did I do that? In terms of alcohol, why did I do that? You feel guilty. You feel maybe even a little element of shame, perhaps regret, because the goal that matters to you so much that you're really trying hard to work towards has kind of, you've not acted in line with that. And that can lead to these feelings. Now, if this does happen to you, it's really important to question yourself about your reasons why you're drinking alcohol. And can you still enjoy yourself drinking less? Do you trust yourself to drink less? And again, these are areas, just building your self-awareness is a great way to start. And these are areas that I support my clients with. And I tell you, I've had quite a few clients that I've worked through on this. And I can only reassure you that their feedback to me, and they do everything willingly. Like, it doesn't matter what I advise, what I recommend. Everyone's an adult and everyone can make their own choices. But when they begin to action some of my feedback and my tips and my strategies, and some of which I've shared with you in this podcast, not one moment of feedback, not one occasion where they, they've reduced alcohol or taken action or made a stand and not people please. The feedback has only been positive, so much so that they love that feeling so much that they repeat it on another social occasion and start to make these choices that align with their health goals and their weight loss goals, because they recognize and they notice how much better quality of life they are having as a result. So it is absolutely possible to include alcohol, make progress towards your goals, and not negatively impact your health. And if there are any areas that you are struggling with, whether it be with alcohol, whether it be with food, is obviously if you need professional help, then I'm not saying that you're an alcoholic listening to this by any means, but if you do feel that your drinking is out of control, I would definitely recommend seeking professional help. When it comes to fat loss and health and in how to include alcohol, how to live your life, this is an area that I can help you with and what I'm currently and successfully helping my clients with. So please reach out. Please feel free that you can always ask me questions and approach me, and know that I am always without judgment and I coach compassionately and with empathy and with a lot of understanding. So I hope this podcast has given you, can you hear my dog sneezing? I hope this podcast has given you pause for thought, time to reflect and question yourself those questions about alcohol and drinking and whether it's serving you. All my contact details and my social media is in the show notes. I welcome contact. I love to get contact from my listeners, from people who follow me on social media. Please reach out. I love to hear from you, and I will help you the very, very best I can, whether you're a client, whether you're not a client. Please do reach out. If you found this podcast helpful, please leave me a review and share my podcast with your friends. Whether it's this episode or another episode, share my podcast with them. I share really easy to apply tips with all aspects of weight loss and health. So please do share my podcast, whether that's in your friendship groups on WhatsApp with a link, whether you're sharing on your stories that you've listened to one of my episodes, whether you message me direct or however you want to contact me and tell me direct what you gained from listening to the podcast. I would love to hear from you. Remember to follow the show or subscribe or whatever it is on your listening platform. And I look forward to catching up with you on the next episode.